Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be reviewing the new Lionel Cupola Cam cabooses. Lionel released a couple road names in their first run of these cam cabooses, and really what they are is just a caboose with a video camera in it so that you can watch sort of at the real-time level of if a actual person was inside the caboose looking out the window, what it would look like as the train's moving along. So you can point it towards the rear or flip it around, point it towards the front, and that's basically what it does. So these are new for this year. I believe they're coming out with more road names. This happens to be the CSX one, but we're just gonna unbox it, take a look at it, do the setup, and then see what we get. Now there are some sort of posts going around the forums about these cameras, and the picture's kind of blurry and not clear, and that possibly the plastic window is interfering with it, so and that may have to be removed, so we'll see. But that's basically what we've been seeing on the forum so far. So we'll take a look at it and see how it performs, get it all set up. I think it is just a Wi-Fi connection to your either phone or laptop or whatever you're looking at for the video, but we'll check it out and see what you need to do with it. Alright, so here's the car itself, and then you get some kind of a driver disc here, and you get your instruction manual that comes with it. So if we take a look at the caboose, here. So it's actually a really nice detailed caboose just by itself. So forgetting the cam portion of it, it's actually got some great details on it. You can right here, you can see right here's the cam in that little window right there. So that's a little window that some people are saying you need to take out to make it clear, but we'll see. But otherwise, really nice detail. On the bottom, if I flip this around here, there's a couple of switches here. There's a reset button right here, and then there's a light on and off switch right here. And there's actually on this right end here, you can see it, there's a camera switch that you can turn on and off. So looks like you can turn the interior light on and off and the camera on and off if you don't want it running. It has two obviously pickups, one on each truck there. So yep, overall pretty nice caboose just by itself. And so we'll get the instructions and see how you set this all up. Alright, just a couple of things about the settings, just some general information. In the guide it says it has 3 resolutions, 1080p down to 480p, but in the actual app there's actually 4 to choose from. You got HD, high, normal, and low bandwidth. Obviously as you go down the picture quality gets worse, but they do actually have 4. It says the video format is AVO, but when you're in the app they are MPEG-4 files, so I'm not sure why they're listing it like that. And then it's compatible on all operating systems, whether it's a PC or whether it's a mobile phone. So you're all set there as far as that goes. Most of the instructions talk about how to connect the cam to your network or your device so you can see it. But other than that, it doesn't really give you any other big information on any of the settings that are in the app itself. They give you a couple of small ones, like they tell you how to set the brightness and contrast, flip the images back and forth. But then they have these other things in there called vertical and horizontal cruise, which I have no idea what that means. And then it talks about the cam audio feedback, even though it says it doesn't have a microphone. So, but there's a mic icon and a speaker icon, so I'm not sure what that's talking about, if it's through the device that you're going through or what it's trying to control there. And then it says for the pan and tilt control, slide the video to pan or tilt the camera. So when it says slide the video, I'm not sure exactly what it means, but that's pretty much it. And then there's a couple of icons at the top of the screen with a picture of like a light for an LED and a light bulb. Looks like a light bulb hanging from the ceiling. Doesn't really tell you what those do either. So there's no instructions in it that tell you what any of that stuff means, which is stupid. I mean, their instructions are kind of terrible. So, but that's pretty much it for the basics for the cam. We'll go over the we'll pull up the video app here so you can see it and all the settings, and then maybe somebody will be able to respond to this and tell me what some of these mean. Okay, we got it on track. It is powered. The lights are on, so it is lit on the inside. There's also a little figure there sitting in a chair on the other side here. This is just an empty chair on this side, but it does have some little interior details on it also. So Caboose is powered up. It's got some, you can see the little lights on the front and the back, the red LEDs there. So kind of nice little detail. So we're gonna go ahead and go over to the app and get it set up. So now that it's on the track, we should be able to connect it to the Wi-Fi. I think the instructions said next. Alright, so first thing it says is to open your Wi-Fi settings on your device and then search for the camera's identifier, and it says it's going to start with a CM, which I do see right here. It's got this long number with the CM, so we're just going to hit that, see if it connects at the top here. So it did connect, so we're connected. So now it says go ahead and once you've connected the camera, you go to the settings screens in the app. So if we go over to the Lionel app, there's the, okay, it says it, find a new device has been added, so it actually added it automatically. And I got this push message, no valid apps environment. I don't know what that means. So there we have the cam itself right there. So in the instructions it tells you to manually add it, but it actually added it itself automatically. So we don't have to go to the steps to add it manually. So there is the cam picture, and as people have said, it's pretty blurry actually. That's not clear at all. I mean, it's completely blurry on the cam. So you can see it's looking past to the wall where my trains are. Alright, so we're just going to run our engine a little bit. So it's pretty cool if it actually was clear, but it's not clear. I mean, you can see everything in the background is just completely blurred. So you can see, like, even though it's like, you know, you can see everything in the picture, it's completely blurry. It's like there's a double layer or something underneath it. I'm not sure, but that's like obviously not going to work out. So in this particular case, we got to figure out what to do here as far as is it taking that little window out going to solve the issue, or is there something else wrong with the cam? Alright, so to get this caboose apart, you gotta take out, there's 4 screws on the bottom, and 3 of them are okay, you can get them out, but there's one right here under this truck that you actually can't get all the way out. So you just got to get it out as far as you can, and it should be enough to release the top part of the caboose. And then you can see there's just a ribbon cable going up to the camera at the top here, and we got to get that little window out between the camera and the caboose. So this ribbon doesn't really disconnect from anything. It's inside this receiver or whatever here. So but you can get the cupola off the top here by these two tabs that are right here. So if you push those in, you should be able to get off, and then you'll get a better angle here on the top to try to get the little window out. So it looks like the cam is just glued in place there. So so we'll try to get that out here. We might be able to just get a screwdriver and see if we can pop it from here, but it looks like the cam is almost right against the plastic window. So let me see if I can get the top off, if this snaps out real quick, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so actually these little tabs don't want to push out because there's this little piece of plastic, and you can see right here that basically is holding this from pushing this way. So if you take a little hobby knife and just slice off that little piece, sort of like I did on this side over here, then you'll notice that these just move really freely now. You can push them in and get the cupola off. So just trim those out, and then you'll be able to get it on and off easy just by squeezing the top. Okay, so you can see here, I don't know if you can see it right here, but right here there used to be a little piece of plastic that I took off on each side. This will still clip in and stay nice and tight, but now you can actually squeeze it so that you can get it off anytime you want to. Oh, and there is a little connector right on the top here that goes with this connector right here. This was what was holding me up. I couldn't figure it out when I was trying to pull the bottom out, and it actually just popped out luckily, and it didn't pull the wires, but that's a little bit of an issue trying to get the top off. So anyway, so there's my camera with the little window, so I'm going to just try to get a little screwdriver in between there and see if I can pop that window out, and then go from there. Okay, so when I got my screwdriver in there and I popped the little window out, the cam came out too. It's actually, the cam is actually glued into this little bracket right here. It's actually, that bracket is not the piece, so I just have to put the cam back in there. So I'll just, right on the little edge right here, just put a tab of super glue and then put it back in there, and then I should be good. But because I can get this cupola off the top now nice and easy, I can actually assemble this whole thing back together, and then get this little connector here plugged back into the LEDs. That's for the lighting, for the inside lights, for the LED lights, and get it all back together. Then I can put this cam in and get it all set. So let me get the caboose back together. You can see when I was first trying to get it off right here, this little metal detail right here I bent down and stuff, so I gotta make sure everything gets straightened out, because when I was fooling around with it initially, you know, all these little details are getting bent and pushed when you're trying to get it off. So now that I know how it comes apart, that'll be a little easier. So let me get these 4 screws back in, get this bottom piece on, and then we'll go from there. Hey guys, sorry, don't forget to plug in the little connector right here. I forgot to plug that in, so I was running it, and then the little lights on the ends and the interior lights were off because I forgot to plug that in. So just make sure when you put it back together that wire's there and you plug that little connector in. But that's pretty much it. Now you can get this on and off, luckily. So, and you just snap it on and off, and then put your little smokestack back in, and you're set to go. Okay, so the removal of the window fixed the problem completely. It's super clear now. I'm gonna put some snapshots in my post here, but basically you can see it's super clear in the video now. And I'm gonna start up the engine here, and I'm just gonna do a little run, but you know, total night and day. So obviously this little window right here is the problem, and actually when I hold it up to the light and I just look through it, the clear plastic is super blurry, so I don't know if some of them just have terrible you know, and it's pretty thick too, so the thing about it is I don't see how the camera could possibly go through that and not have a blurry picture. So, but anyway. Alright, so when you're in the actual video looking at what's displaying here, when you tap on the screen you get your little choices here for your different resolutions. So that's pretty obvious. You have these 4 icons sort of at the top here. Okay, that's the brightness control, which again, that's fine. This is the contrast control, that's fine. But this one I don't know what it is. It's sort of like you can turn and off an LED. It looks like it might be the IR LED for like dark scenes at night. You know, so it's like night vision basically, and that's how you can turn it on and off manually. Then they have this other one, which is a picture of sort of an LED going forward with lights, and you hit it and then the sort of the rays turn on and off. I don't know what this does. I can't tell. It doesn't seem to affect the picture in any way. And there's no help or anything on here that tells you what that does. So that's the first mystery, those two. And then at the bottom of the screen, when you tap on the screen here, you've got the, this just flips the image side to side and back and forth. So that's obvious. This is to record, that's take snapshots, those are obvious. And then they have these, there's a speaker and a microphone. I don't know what those are for, since the cam doesn't have a microphone in it or a speaker. So I'm not sure if it's, I have no idea, because I don't know what it's supposed to be recording or turning on and off there. And then they have these 2 buttons here, which are arrows up and down, left and right, which are, according to the manual, called vertical and horizontal cruise. But again, I have no idea what that means, and when I touch them, nothing happens. So there's some mystery buttons on here. Actually, here's a, oh, I see. This'll actually, Lionel wireless camera would like to access the microphone. You need to use the microphone to talk with the IPC camera. So if I say OK there, I don't know what that's going to do. Is it going to record with this? What, I don't know. I have no idea. So I'll have to play with that too, because I have no idea what it's trying to do. So that's the first thing. That's a sort of, some of these settings are a mystery on the main screen when you're in it. If I go back to the actual cam here at the top, there's a settings gear, and then you have all these choices to modify, delete, reconnect. Well, if you modify the device and you change the name of it or whatever it may be, here you can change the password, but if you change the name, then it actually creates another one, and it won't connect to it. So I don't know why they even have this stuff in here, but anyway. It looks like it's some kind of generic cam device that Lionel has sort of taken over. But the other thing is, if you go to the device settings, then it has all these settings listed here. Some of them are kind of obvious. Rebooting the device, changing your password. Although I don't know what this password is for exactly, because this is not the Wi-Fi password as far as I can tell, because that was on the other screen. So I have no idea what that's for. You got these miscellaneous settings, says work LED, and when you choose it, you have like on, off, or flicker. I don't know what that means, because I tried these and it didn't do anything. Or if this is for future things, or maybe it's for a different, maybe it's not for the cabooses, maybe it's for the observation cars, I'm not sure. But again, they don't tell you in the instructions at all. You have FTP configuration. So what you're doing with this, I don't know. If you're uploading, maybe you can upload the files to a folder or something automatically. I don't know. There's an email config. I'm not sure if you set this up, if it gives you a choice to email your stuff. Time is just time date stamp for the videos and stuff. This is the IR LED config, which I think allows you to change when it comes on automatically based on the darkness in the room. So that'd be for sort of the night vision thing. There's a schedule thing here. I don't know why you'd want to schedule it. Some of this stuff doesn't make any sense. Ptz config. Have no idea what a Ptz speed is. So I'd have to go Google that and see what that is. And then you've got SD card recording. So if you have an SD card, I guess in your device, maybe your laptop or something, then I guess you could set that. And then there's the Wi-Fi config, so that's the actual network that you want to connect to, right? I'm not sure if I set something in here, although I don't know. I'm not exactly sure if I connect this to my Wi-Fi network, if it would then automatically connect each time. Like all this stuff you have to play with. It'd be nice if they had instructions. This one, alarm config, no idea. Alarm for what? What am I alarming, I guess is my question. So, no idea what that's for either. So, whole series of settings. Don't know what they're for, and there's no instructions on them at all in the manual. So, just FYI. So then at the bottom there you have, under the settings, you have live video, there's snapshot, which just shows you your snapshots at the bottom here. I did see that it says press and hold for picture options, so if you press and hold, you'll get a menu that will allow you to save them, share them, which means you can email them, delete it, or delete all snapshots. And then on the record, it just lists out your recordings that you have so far, and so basically on those recordings you can play them, I guess, if you wanted to. It does have 4 icons on the top. One's the iPad, one looks like an SD card. There's 2 other ones, these arrows that go down here. I have no idea what they mean. One is a solid arrow and one is a arrow which is hollow with some lines in it. Again, no idea. And if you do edit, it just lets you delete your individual videos and stuff, but other than that, don't know what some of these up here are doing. So again, because like this is for SD card here, so I guess maybe you could, maybe this is a generic application that's used for other things. I'm not sure. So I'm not gonna go farther into that because I don't know what half those settings do. But I guess the main point is that if the app itself works, then I guess you don't really have to do anything with them and have to worry about it. Okay, so what's the result of all this? Well, basically on this side where the 2 screws are kind of accessible, you might scuff up your trucks just a little bit, like right here and right here. Nothing you're going to notice. But on the other side, there is one particular screw, which is this one right here. And you can see I chewed up the truck just a little bit right there. There's no other way to avoid it. You cannot loosen up that screw. Now you don't have to take the entire screw out because it's like, it goes up about this far up to the yellow line here, and there's actually 2 pieces. There's the upper shell piece, and then there's a plate here that it goes through, and it screws through both of those. So you only have to get it farther enough down to release the upper shell. So about, you know, it goes right down to the truck about. I'm not sure how they assembled it. This is like the worst car I've ever had to disassemble ever. I'm not sure how they did it, but anyway, once you do that, then you'll be okay. But you'll probably have to touch up your truck with a little paint there because you're going to scratch the paint off. Other than that, everything else survived. And the picture difference between having the window there and not is just astounding. It's like night and day. So I'll show you some pictures, stills, and then some videos, and you can tell the difference. But that is what the problem is. It's that little window that's in there. I don't know if some are just not ground the same way or whatever the situation is, but this is the actual issue right here. So I'm not sure if polishing that up would do anything. It's a pretty thick window, so I would think that they should have made these super thin, maybe even made them out of glass. But regardless, that is the fix for it if you want to go through the whole disassembly process. Otherwise, I don't know how you could possibly get the camera to actually be in focus. So that's pretty much it on the review of the Cupola Cam. Now, this was a CSX version. I know some people on other versions said the video was acceptable, but I bet you that they don't even know how clear it could be if they took that little window out. So that wraps up this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time. Peace.